My name's Oriana Holmes-Price. I am currently the Director of Organizing with the New Jersey Environmental Justice Alliance. I have more of a background in student advocacy, community organizing with Rutgers, the NJPIRG student chapters. I used to tell everyone when I worked in offshore wind, and I always remember when it would be a storm coming and the sky would get super dark and it's like you could smell like your environment almost. Like you'd smell nature, you could smell the rain coming in, and like the wind would be blowing like crazy. And I think that was really like my first kind of touch point where I can vividly remember the atmosphere, the smells, like when it's about to be like a thunderstorm. And then how I got into kind of like this work now, I was at the Jersey Shore and my little brother had like a windmill toy, and it was a super windy day at the beach, and I just remember holding that up and it was spinning super fast, and I was like, imagine how much like energy this could produce right now. And then a year later I was working in offshore wind. That was kind of like my pivot point into the Alliance and wanting to do more work like focused essentially on environmental justice, mainly in Black and brown communities, low-income communities, indigenous communities. Right now, I'm the Director of Organizing with NJEJA, the New Jersey Environmental Justice Alliance. My main focus there is essentially working to build a strategy for how we want to be engaging with community, how we want to make sure that we can build up local leaders, if there's public hearings, if there's opportunities to deliver comment in different government decision-making processes, if there's local hearings going on. Pretty much anywhere that community needs to be involved in the decision-making process, we are building the strategy right now to make sure that we have local leaders on the ground and across the state who are able to participate in those processes. A lot of the technical assistance that we're working on right now is mainly focused on capacity building. We are working with very local community-based organizations across the state to really identify what are the needs that they have, what are the resources that they need to be able to actually be advocates for their community. That could look like addressing flooding, addressing gentrification, housing displacement, wanting to build healthy homes, so thinking about energy efficiency in your homes, thinking about what it means to actually live in a home that is healthy and sound structurally. We're very focused on air emissions as well, so thinking about what does it mean if your neighborhood is located right next to an incinerator, or if you have an incinerator and trains and a highway and warehouses with tons of truck pollution coming in, all the cumulative impacts that brings for your community. So it's really however community needs support, the local leaders need support, we're there to kind of step in and be that technical support arm for them. So whatever issue they want to tackle with the environment and with climate change, that's what we're there to help them do. The number one thing that I always advocate for and push people for is just going to your local city council meetings. That is where so much of this happens when it comes to decision making, what's actually going to be zoned in your neighborhood. And it sucks because people who are in vulnerable communities and overburdened communities have a ton on their plate. It's not always easy to get to these meetings, but I think if there's a way that we could carve more time for them from the government side of things so that it can be more accessible, this is like the number one starting point that I think people can really be motivated and activated to stay in this fight. And I think the other thing that I usually tell people is even just plugging into a local organization or finding a few folks that are doing this work already who can just help to build your knowledge of what's happening. A lot of folks don't even know what environmental justice is and the work that we do at the Alliance, but they know how environmental injustices are impacting them. So it's really just figuring out who to talk to, when to talk to them, and then how to get the resources to the people. So meetings, more meetings, and connecting with folks who are already in this space.